Okay, we're going to finish up chapter 3 now and move on to chapter 4. So we dealt with Chochmah, we dealt with Bina, we dealt with his Beinunus, thinking about the greatness of Hashem and how this comes into Das. Das means connection, remaining connected with the ideas. If we don't remain connected with the idea, it dissipates. And if we remain connected, then it inspires feelings in our heart which motivate us to do something. Feelings of love, feelings of discipline, awe, fear. And now he describes something extraordinary on the bottom of page 72, that from Das comes a feeling of love, that the heart will glow with an intense love like fiery flames. Pay attention to this, because he uses many terms. If the Alter Rebbe is using these terms, we may not know the difference between them, but he certainly does. Ariel. Yeah. So first comes the intellectual fear of Hashem, that you know it's appropriate to fear Hashem. And then this is replaced by fear of Hashem in one's heart. And then this gives way to love of Hashem, that gratitude, feeling of gratitude and thankfulness that we're connected to Hashem. Sarah Mora and Chaya Menashe. And then a feeling of love begins to glow in the heart, an intense love. That's number one, like fiery flames, with a passion. Karishpe Eish means fiery flames. Chasheka, chafetza, tshuka, v'nefesh shekaka. What's the difference between these terms? Chasheka means I want something, or like, I like it. You want to do this? No, enli cheshek, we say in Hebrew. No, I don't really want it. No, I'm not in the mood. That's chasheka. That we want to be connected to Hashem. But chafetza is something that I really desire. Like they said about the great teacher, the Chafetz Chaim, one who desires life, taught us to be careful what we say. If a person desires life, you have to be very careful what he says. Utshuka. Shuka means yearning. I yearn for this. Longing. I long for this. That's much stronger than liking. It's much stronger than wanting. Shuka is a desire. Strong. I desire this very strongly. But nefesh shekaka means my life depends on this. I must have it. I must have this. So this is Leah. Leah came in from Brazil.
We have two.
For instance, we have two from Brazil. Together, the Brazil nuts.
Hey, Rabbi got jokes.
Everybody knows that Brazil is where the nuts come from.
All the nuts?
The Brazil nuts.
Oh, yeah.
And so what is this yearning for? So these are 4 levels of yearning, and I don't know, I didn't see it. What do these 4 levels correspond to? I'm not going to make it up. If I see, I'll let you know. But the Alter Rebbe is being precise here in calling upon 4 levels of love, intense love like fiery flames, desire, longing, yearning, and absolutely must have it. Total dependency on this connection with the Eibishter. Each of these expressions denoting a different grade of love. It says here in the brackets, toward the greatness, a love towards the greatness of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, Ein Sof Baruch Hu, Legadlus, Legadulas Ein Sof Baruch Hu. So this is the meditation. Alter Rebbe has taught us how to meditate on the greatness of Hashem, and we should do this. If we're learning it, the Alter Rebbe, he's giving us a guide. A person would say, I want to daven. I want the Jewish life. I want to say brachas in a meaningful way. I don't feel in my heart anything. So the Rebbe is giving us, if you want to feel in your heart, this is what you have to do. Here's a 4-step program. You have to activate your Chokmah, or your Sirka, and Sharona. Welcome. Happy Hanukkah. Sirka. Sharon. Sharonel.
It's okay.
Now, when a person gets through all these 4 stages, that his love becomes more and more and more intense. At each of these 4 stages, top of page 73, he gets to the point that's called Kleis HaNefesh. What is Kleis HaNefesh? Kleis HaNefesh means your soul is ready to expire for love. To expire in an ecstasy of love. Do people really feel that way? Yes, they do. Some people. The story is a story about the Alter Rebbe when he came to learn at the feet of the Maggid in Mezerich. So the Maggid told him to learn together with his son Avram, who was called the angel, Avram the angel. And the Alter Rebbe, oh, here's Leah, Baruch Hashem, Leah Rappa. So the Alter Rebbe was expert in Nigla, in Talmud, in the revealed aspect of Torah, how Torah is learned. And the Avram, the angel, he was called an angel because he understood Hasidus very, very, very well. So they used to take turns leading the learning. One would learn, the other would follow. When they were learning Talmud, the Alter Rebbe would say, and the Maggid would follow. When they learned Hasidus, the son of the Maggid would say, and the Alter Rebbe would follow. And they did it with a seder, like half hour. But the Alter Rebbe used to sort of cheat. Can we say that? He would cheat. He would steal extra time to learn Hasidus. So Kleis HaNefesh, the story of Kleis HaNefesh, when the Jewish people left Egypt, after 40 days, they came to Mount Sinai, 50 days, they came to Mount Sinai, and Hashem gave us the Torah on Shavuos. And then Moshe Rabbeinu went up onto the mountain to learn the Torah, to learn the oral Torah, and the written Torah. He learned the written Torah by day and the oral Torah at night. 40 days, 40 nights. He learned the whole Torah, and the Satan came and made a big mess. And the Jews, he convinced the Jewish people that Moshe had died. He wasn't coming back, and they needed a leader. And a whole story, we'll read about it in a few months or so. A tragic story about how they worshipped, how a golden calf came out of the flames, walking around, a living creature out of gold. Extraordinary story. And they worshipped it, and then Moshe came down and put a stop to the whole thing, and a lot of people died. And the Jewish people were very, very, very upset. They were heartbroken. But here they had this wonderful gift from Hashem, and the first thing that happened was they messed up everything. It's like, on much lower terms, imagine a young man and a young woman getting married, and they're very, very happily married for a few weeks, and then something happens and they have a big fight, a terrible fight. And what's with their marriage? So that was the state of affairs, and went through different stages. First, there was a stage of intense regret for 40 days, and then there was a stage of forgiveness for another 40 days. So altogether, Moshe was on the mountain for 120 days. After 120 days, Hashem forgave the Jewish people. That was on Yom Kippur. That's why Yom Kippur became designated as a day of forgiveness, or maybe it was designated in advance, and the whole thing was orchestrated so that the forgiveness would come on the day, which is the day of forgiveness, the day of atonement, Yom Kippur. Which came first? It's a big question. Like Pesach, Abraham kept Pesach before the Jews were enslaved. We read that when the angels came to Lot, after the angels came to Lot, came to Sodom to overthrow the city because it was so corrupt. What was Lot doing? He was baking matzahs. It was Pesach. And that was when they told Avram that he's going to have a child in a year's time. So Pesach. So from this we know that Yitzchak was born on Pesach. So Moshe came down after 120 days on Yom Kippur. The Jewish people were forgiven, but it wasn't complete yet. It wasn't complete yet because they didn't have, Hashem did not tell them, he gave them the commandments about building a temple. Make me a temple that I also the Mishkan, a Mikdash, that I should dwell in your midst. So they got this commandment right away after Yom Kippur to build a sanctuary for God, which would be the prototype of the Beis HaMikdash. The Beis HaMikdash, the first, second, and the third Beis HaMikdash, which should immediately be built in Mitzvah Hashem by Moshiach himself, or he'll bring it down. It's already built in heaven. It just has to come down, and Moshiach will put on the doors. They are all extensions of the first sanctuary that was built by Moshe Rabbeinu when the Jews left Egypt. 35 years ago. 34 years ago. So they got the commandments, they got the orders, but they weren't given the green light to build it. They weren't allowed to build it for another 6 months. And then after 6 more months of intense yearning and soul searching and tshuva, Hashem said, okay, now you can build it. How do you think they felt? Like a couple who had this big fight and then they were separated for quite some time. And then finally they were able to get back together again. How do you think they felt? Very, 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 very happy. Very happy. It was a great, great joy to the Jewish people that Hashem said to build the sanctuary. And they did it in the month of Nisan. And it was erected on the first day of Nisan. That's behind the scene when we celebrate Pesach in the middle of Nisan. This is what lies behind the scene. Then on the first day of Nisan, they got the go-ahead to build the Mishkan, and well, actually, they got it a few days earlier, and they put the Mishkan up, and Hashem did not accept it, and they had to take it down. They brought offerings. Hashem did not accept the offerings. Then they put it up again the next day, and Hashem did not accept the offerings. And this kept on going like this. For 7 days. And on the 8th day, which was the first day of Nisan, they put up the Mishkan again, and Hashem did accept their offerings. And how did they know that Hashem accepted their offerings? Because a fire came down. A fire came down from heaven and burned up the offerings. They were ecstatic. They were ecstatic. It's hard to imagine the tremendous happiness and relief that they felt that Hashem had accepted their offerings. And it was a big Verbringen. That's how I imagine it. There was a big Verbringen, and they said L'chaim, and the sons of Aaron took the most beautiful, wonderful offering into the Holy of Holies, which was incense, because all the other offerings were ashes. And incense was just smoke. Everything went up in smoke. And they went into the Holy of Holies with this wonderful offering. And again, a fire came down from heaven and entered their nostrils, and their souls went out. They were gone. They were gone. So was this bad or was it good? It looks like it was bad because they went in and they died. Certainly that's not good. On the other hand, Aaron and Moshe talked this over, and Moshe says, I knew that there was going to be sacrifices on this day, that there was going to be a price to pay for the Mishkan. I thought it was going to be you or me, says Moshe. I thought I was going to have to pay the price, that my life was going to be taken, or yours, for our role in the sin of the golden calf. But I see that these two young men, your sons, are holier than both of us. Okay, now what happened here? This is what's called place of nefesh. What happened from their point of view is that they were so inspired with their love of God that their body could not contain their soul any longer, and the soul went out. That's called place nefesh. Let's update now. The Alter Rebbe was learning with the son of the Maggid, and their learning took them to higher and higher spiritual levels. And the Alter Rebbe sensed that in another few minutes, it's going to be Klais and Nefesh, that their souls are going to go out. The son of the Maggid and himself. So what did he do? He quickly got up and he washed for bread, and he had a bagel with butter. He ate a bagel. Now, can you imagine eating a bagel when you're ready to go into the Holy of Holies with the incense offering? The question is, just to backtrack a little bit, why? What did they do that was considered wrong that they should have to pay with their lives? So there are different opinions. One opinion is that they were shikker. The wine went to their head, and that's why they did this foolishness to go into the Holy of Holies with the incense. It's a very holy thing to do, but wasn't for them to do it. Another reason is this given because they weren't told to do it. It's a principle in Judaism, things of the holy, you don't take things onto yourself without asking. You have to ask. And they didn't ask. They just went and did it. If they'd asked, they would have been told not to do it. It's not their mitzvah. And if you do things on very, very high levels that are not pertinent to you, the results can be catastrophic. Or another way of looking at it is, because if your teacher is present and he's there and you can consult with him and you make your own decision and ignore him, that can also be fatal. So one opinion is that they paid for their lives because they didn't ask. Another is because they went into the holy when they were shikar. A kohen is not allowed to serve in the temple if he's shikar. So therefore, even today, a kohen cannot get shikar. A kohen cannot get drunk.
Ever?
If Moshiach comes, at that moment, he's going to have to go serve in the base of Mikdash. He'll be drunk. He won't be able to serve. Not allowed. Kohen is not allowed to serve if he's drunk. We learned that law from this incident. So a kohen can only get drunk enough, only get high enough that within 25 minutes he'll be sober. So if Moshiach comes within 25 minutes, he can start working in the base of Mikdash.
25 minutes just to get to Eretz.
There'll be the clouds. Take you there. Shoo.
Take the express club.
Right? Right?
We'll be in the back.
So that's the meaning of Klois HaNefesh. The question there is a favorite, popular question is if they were on the point of Klois HaNefesh, how did the Alter Rebbe wash for bread and eat a bagel with butter? Such a mundane, materialistic activity. And the answer that's given, what the Rebbe teaches us, is because the Alter Rebbe was on a higher level still. So that for him to be on the highest level of spirituality, of Chachma Batzilus, and to eat a bagel and butter was all on the same level, because he was higher than both of them. And that gives you a lot of insight into what a Rebbe is. Okay, so now on top of page 73, how does he explain it here? This is the meaning of the term Klois HaNefesh, meaning when the soul expires. Klois HaNefesh. He translates as a consuming passion. The Klois HaNefesh means the expiring of the soul in an ecstasy. And now he brings psukim to explain to us from the Holy Scriptures, what does it mean, Klois HaNefesh? It says, Nichzagam Kalsa Nafshi. This is the David HaMelech expressing the love of the Jewish people. I yearn for you, but Kalsa Nafshi, my soul expires. He translates faints. Kalsa Nafshi, my soul expires with love. Then he brings another pasuk, Tzama Nafshi Le'elakim, my soul thirsts. My soul thirsts for God, like a person in a desert thirsting for water. And then the famous line you've probably all heard the Rebbe sing this. Tzama lecha nafshi, not just my soul thirsts for Elokim, which is a level of God. My soul thirsts lecha for you, for the essence of God. Like it says in the last entry of a Yom Yom, I don't want anything else, writes Alter Rebbe. I don't want anything else. I don't want any levels. I don't want Gan Eden higher or lower. All I want is you, essence. Tzama lecha nafshi. 3 levels of yearning. Okay, who's our good reader? Don't all raise your hand.
I can read.
You can read? Okay, read this paragraph. So intense.
So intense can one's love become that the soul risks being consumed in the fiery flames of its love for God and totally leaving the body. In fact, were one not to forestall this danger and contain this great love, he would indeed expire. But he restrains himself so that his soul will remain clothed in his body. The only condition in which it is possible for him to fulfill his God-given mission.
Right, because if you expire, then you can't put on tefillin, and you can't light a Shabbos candle. So we're not allowed that luxury of total indulgence in our love of Hashem. Okay. Now he excuse me, defines this quality of love further, quantifies it. Hatzimoin, he says, my soul thirsts for you, Hashem. And my soul thirsts for Elohim, my soul thirsts for you. Hatzimoin, this thirst, where does the thirst come from? Here come medieval, Middle Ages, the science of the Middle Ages, the ancient sciences. Thirst is from the element of fire in the godly soul. When you're exposed to great heat, you're thirsty. And since we have 4 elements in the soul, we learned about 4 elements in the animal soul. So the 4 elements in the godly soul, the element of fire motivates the thirst for Hashem. In the animal soul, fire motivates a person to express anger or arrogance, right? Remember? In the godly soul, it's a fiery love of God. That's from the element of fire. Cause a person to have this thirst. And the scientists, the doctors, write this explicitly. And also it's in Kabbalah, in Eitz Chaim. Who wrote the Eitz Chaim? Chaim Vital. That's his name in the title. The tree of life. Eitz Chaim, tree of life. Sheyasoid ha'esh hu belev, and it says in his writings that this element of fire, which is the source of thirst in the godly soul, where is it found? In the heart. Hu belev. Well, if fire is in the heart, where does water go? Next line. Mokar hamayim hu v'halechus mihamayach is in the mind. So water in the animal soul, we recall, water in the animal soul causes a person to have a great desire for sensual pleasures. Pleasures. In the godly soul, the source of water in the godly soul is in the mind, because the mind is cool. So we have 2 opposite elements here, fire in the heart and water in the mind. Fire in the heart causes a fiery love of God, and water in the mind is a source of intellect, which is cool, a cool intellect. So the intellect can cool down the love, the fiery love in the heart. Kamesha Kosov Gate, Eitz Chaim, all this is written, Eitz Chaim, Sharnun, the 50th gate, Shehi, Bechinas, Chachma. So what is this element of water in the mind? That is the source of Chachma, which we were learning about yesterday. Chachma is the potential of everything, the potential for life of everything, where the infinite life touches the created world. That's the point, called the potential of what? Of a thing to be. Chachma is the potential of the thing to exist. Shenikra Maim, and Chachma is also is called in the esoteric sciences is called water. In the godly soul, Nefesh Elokis. Turn the page. So water in the godly soul is the source of wisdom. Fire in the godly soul is the source of passionate love of Hashem, the godly soul. And the other midas, the other emotions that we have, remember how the emotions go. First you have love, then you have discipline, stricture, and then you have tiferes, the blend, the beautiful blend of things. Then netzach and hoid, netzach, gonna get it done, I'm gonna get it done, I'm gonna get it done, and hoid, I'm gonna do it right. Cutting away, refining. So one is input and the other is revision. You saw it, communicating it, remembering my audience, and Malchus is the final thing, the final product, Shabbos. So the rest of the 5 midas are all derivatives. They are like children born of these 2 qualities of love and fear. Shar hamidis kulan, all the other midas, remember midah means a measure. So these 7 aspects in the heart, they're in the heart, they are the measure of a person's character. And these are the motivating factors of everything you do. Everything goes through these 7 stages. Hein, Anfe, Ayira, Vaha'ava, and all these stages, you have love and fear, and the other 5 are their results. They give birth to all the other 5. But told they Sehen means their generations, means they're their children. As explained elsewhere. And now coming down to the bottom of the page 74 and Das. Now we've discussed this all many times already, that Das means connection. Das is in the cranium, that's where it takes place. Das has 2 aspects to it. It contains both Abba and Yira, and it comes down through the spinal cord, the back of the neck, into the heart. In the right side of the heart is love, and the left side of the heart is fear. And as long as you're connected to your intellect, which is Chochmah and Bina, then you're good. And if you lose that connection, then you don't know what you're talking about. Because Das is knowledge. Knowledge like in the intimacy of a man and his wife, and Adam nu Chava. So the word Das means knowledge. Knowledge means being totally connected to the idea. The whole Lashon is kashrus, is chabrus, connection and unification with the idea. That's the quality of Das in the brain. Chachma bina Das, that's Chabad. So the Dalit part of Chabad is everyone is Iker. Everyone is important. If you don't have Das, you don't have Chachma bina either. If you don't have Das, then you don't know what you're talking about. Page 75. Shemakasha daite, with Das, a person connects his mind Bekesher Amitz v'Chazak with a very, very strong connection. V'yitka machshavte, like you nail the mezuzah up on the doorpost. So Das means you connect your mind to the ideas that you're meditating upon, like nailing them in. You're connecting them with nails into your brain. And what are the ideas you're thinking about? The greatness of Hashem, Gedulas, Ein Sof Baruch Hu. And you don't allow yourself to get distracted. Because even if a person has the greatest ideas and understanding of the loftiest philosophy and Maimorim about the greatness of Hashem, if his Das isn't working and connecting his mind, with a total connection, like nailed into place in his thought, with strength, ubahasmada, and constancy. Not just, oh yeah, I thought about that on the way to Shiva, but then, I got interested in the yogurt and the bananas and the different things. I had a cup of coffee and spoke to my friends. I forgot about it. It was nice. I walked to Yeshiva, was very nice. Walking to Yeshiva, I saw the sun. I looked at the trees. It was the sky is beautiful. And I guess later. Okay, that's not connection. We have to be connected to this concept of the greatness of Hashem all the time. That's what you need in order to have this love as an active player in your life. And if not, le yoylid benafshe yira v'ava amitis. Otherwise, the love and fear that you feel is just a fleeting emotion. It's fleeting. It enters your mind and it dissipates because the das isn't working. So that's the incredible thing. When you see the Rebbe, you see videos of the Rebbe, you have to understand by the Rebbe, how is it the Rebbe was always able to connect with everybody? How is it that he always had the right answer? How is it that the Torah always seemed to be on the tip of his tongue? Didn't have to think, oh, how did this pasuk go? Because his das was always connected. He was always connected. And if the das isn't working, lo yoyli yira v'ava amitis benafshe. He will not give birth to love and fear that are true and sincere in his soul. Ki'im demyein shav, just vain imaginings. He'll imagine that he loves God, but when he needs it, it's not there. Okay, and that's why that's the strength of Chabad is that when you learn Hasidus and you do need these feelings, they are there. And that's why Chabad survived in Russia when the Iron Curtain came down on Judaism and everything else collapsed. So das becomes the inner soul and life of the midas. Das is what keeps the midas going. What gives strength and sustenance, endurance, and constancy to your emotions. And das contains within it both chesed and gevura. And chesed and gevura are the source of love, chesed, and gevura, fear. Thank you very much. We finished the chapter. We'll move on tomorrow to chapter 4. Hello to Hila White.
Hi, Hila.
Hi, Rabbi.
Well, did you get snow yesterday?
Yep, and it's snowing now.
Okay. Give the snow our best regards.
I will.
We didn't get it yet. That's okay. Thank you, girls. We'll see you tomorrow. That's our last day this term.